you can give, the better off you will be, especially because Justin may accept way more than me, but I am a logic person. If you can't explain it, then I'm like, why are we doing it? Even though I speak off of feelings too. But you will more than likely get that from me. So just understanding that helps you get in alignment so y'all can reach your goals more efficiently and build those systems more effectively.
Step right in the vibe, feels right. Faith and fitness take the spotlight.
Welcome to me Exponentially, where we help you build your life, the life you want, one system at a time. I'm Justin.
And I'm Andrea. And here we focus on the 5 pillars to build your systems, which are faith, fitness, family, finance, and freedom.
So today we're talking about communication and how communication is needed to build as the foundational piece to build all your systems.
Yeah. So
communication is the foundational piece we were talking about. So like every system we build. So our biggest thing is that we're trying to. We laugh because it's take 3. Just being transparent. We are very open, transparent, and so our backstory is that we've been together for over 10 years. I met in college, and we were married for 8 years. And we are building, it's just so silly. We're building 2 companies right now. We have 3 kids, 2 full-time jobs, and we're just pushing it. And so when we felt that, we also have family members that we help out, our siblings and all that stuff. So still, we have our internal family, we have the in-house family and outside family. Anyway, we realized our life, we don't have 24 hours in a day. How do we maximize those 24 hours? Then we started looking into systems. Like, hey, how do we create systems for cleaning the house, for teaching our kids what we want to teach, for spending time with our family members, and building businesses? Some people like, that's too much. And we're like, is it? So we're like, we want systems. We want to find systems that can help us maximize our time, our exposure, and give the kids the life that we want them to have. And thus, we start picking away. That's where Me Exponentially is built. But we realized one key thing that we couldn't pass over, we couldn't do without, was discussing in detail in this video and multiple other videos, communication. It is the foundational piece for us to work together and build whatever we're trying to build, and for help you build whatever you're trying to build. So hopefully, today we're gonna help you just get through and help you avoid any potholes and stuff that we ran into as we were building our in the building process.
So I would just say, though, we're not going to say let you get through all the potholes. We just want to remind everyone why communication is important and 3 things that communication helps get us to.
Thank you.
And so we're just going to say that communication is ever evolving. Communication changes as people change, and sometimes, like as we're talking through these 3 things, it's clarity, alignment, and it's trust. It's what communication helps build. But as we talk through them, even as we go through this, you'll see how we're communicating. Yes. Because just now we had alignment when we started. Alignment we got thrown off our game. We got thrown off a little, not even thrown off completely, but we did get a little when the camera battery died.
Oh yeah,
we were into it pretty good.
We lost everything just now. We were like 15 minutes into our first shoot, and everything was gone.
So he did. I think he said 10 earlier, but either way, we were for a pretty good bit into this whole entire video when the thing said kaput, gone. But we did have backup cameras. We just decided to retake it from the top. So we just want people to understand. I want everyone to understand why communication is so fundamental to ensuring that you can get your systems to where they need to be. Because if you don't have communication, you don't have your clarity, you don't have your alignment, you don't have your trust, then your systems will not be able to, 1, get started, 2, be ever evolving. Because it's a constant communication between us, especially with kids. And we don't want to become roommates. And I'm hoping hoping, whoever's watching this and has a spouse, that you don't ever want to be just a roommate to your spouse where you're just passing by. So if we get so caught up in our goals, then one thing that we got to be able to communicate is we need a date night, or we just need some time together, or we got to find a babysitter, because the romance, the intimacy is leaving our marriage. And I don't ever want that to happen to us. And I don't think Justin ever wants that to happen either.
No.
So we just wanted to talk about why communication is so important to building those three things to help you get your systems where they need to be so you can ultimately leave your goals. One thing that's funny, it's not funny, well, it was somewhat funny at the time, but Justin told me when we got married that he said, I am going to grow, and he did not want me to plateau. And he was just saying, I'm going to keep growing because I have goals that are up here. I have goals things that I'm trying to accomplish. And Andrea, I want you to grow with me. But in doing so, that was him communicating, right? And over the years, he's been trying to communicate that in different forms. And so that is where I think the alignment comes into play. So we'll just talk through a little bit of all of that as we go through here. And so I think the first one we're going to talk about is clarity.
Yes. So she mentioned three things: clarity, trust, and alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the three things we talked today. So yes, we're not hitting every hot pothole, guys. That'll be I don't know how many hour video, but how many hours of just talking. But clarity is one, right? And clarity allows for us to just be trying to get on one accord, because even today when in the show and like trying to prepare for it, she said clarity, I said understanding one another. That teaches us, and that's who we are. We're actually not teaches us. It helps us understand each other. Not help us. So one thing, I'm backing up for a second. Clarity is not that you have to be always knowing what each other is saying, but clarity means you try to understand what each other is saying, because we have different, we call it coffee filters, what she taught me, whereas that she sees through her perspective, her experiences in her life. I see through my perspective, experiences in life, and sometimes the wording may be different, but the subject and the meat and potatoes is the same. So we try our best to make sure we understand each other by asking questions, by talking to each other, and not assuming as much. Now, you ain't gonna be perfect with this. That's one thing. Like overarching theme, you're not gonna be perfect. There'll be times where we know what we're supposed to say, and you know your techniques and all that stuff, but we just don't do it sometimes. And that happens. So make sure you give yourself grace. Make sure you give your spouse grace. Make sure you give the world grace. That's just an internal thing, but I believe in just giving grace, because you are not going to be perfect. You're not going to be your best self 100% of the time. And even though we go through these communication techniques, go through these communication strategies, you embody it, you do it, there will be a time where you slip up, and just be okay with that. So, what do you think about? What's your thoughts on clarity?
Yeah, I would completely agree, and I would say that it is important to know what systems you're trying to build together at that point in time. So, what routines? Justin has a morning routine. I have a morning routine. Even with our template for what we're doing and that system on how do we go about doing the week and updating the week and and I think one thing that we have gone back and forth is, and I would say, I don't think that is necessary for how we schedule out our week. And he'll say, well, I think it's necessary for this, giving clarity on what that goal is to get us to the end result or whatever our objective is at that point in time. And he talked about, talking about just how we get to that clarity point is one thing that we have implemented for us, at least, that has been super duper helpful for me is the concept of helping provide clarity through examples. So he can say, sometimes he'll say, Andrea, tonight you're out there scoring 10 points. I need you to be scoring 20. Or he'll say...
Basketball reference.
True. Or he'll say, listen, I can't get to the championship without you, or we're not going to win the championship without you. Like we're getting the playoffs, but we need to start winning. We need to win the title, and I can't win the title unless you go about doing whatever you got to do on your end of the thing. So, and I got there, and we somehow got there because I have not always been getting or picking up what he's putting down, is what some people say, but I'm not always picking that up. But when he goes to a sports example, because we have both coached before, I get that a little bit more with those examples. So honestly, never knew that Derek Fisher played as big of a role as he did in Kobe winning his championships until Justin told me. But he can go out there and say that, or he'll say like those dynamic duos. You got Shaq and Kobe. You got Derek Fisher and Kobe. You have MJ and
Pippen.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen. Like those duos are necessary. Or then whenever we go out into a business with somebody else, you have the big three. It was like Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh, right? So you have y'all. Look at me over here. So you have those people, but by using those sports examples, and I like looking at documentaries. So yeah. That helps me as well. I've looked at the gold or winning gold or the dream team on Netflix before. Like I have watched those videos because those sports examples help me so much.
What is that? Let's not just leave it at basketball. I don't do just basketball. Now we do volleyball too.
We do volleyball. You got Missy May and Carrie Walsh.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
right?
Yeah.
Because those were the people that I watched. You have you have Jordan Larson.
Yeah, I'm about to say
when you look at whatever, point being, sports teams. I mean, you got tennis. You even look at the coaches, because the coaches can teach you so much on even how to lead your kids, and they build systems to get to their championship teams. So it's just giving clarity, and because clarity helps give direction to where you're trying to go. So just going back to the point of clarity. Clarity is important. Communication is important to give you clarity to what systems you're trying to build, who's responsible, right? Who's responsible for that? Like our meal plans. I'm responsible for the meals most of the time. Justin gives his input. I know what I got to think about, but the meal plan is my thing to do. And Justin does the schedule, or he'll lead the projects outside to make sure we're getting the yard cut or whatever else. Or I have a garden. He makes sure my garden, I stay on top of my garden. We have our roles and responsibilities, and communication helps gives us that clarity, so we're not overlapping and stepping on each other's toes.
Right. And I think, let's just back it up to the high level. I'll just talk about this. To be clear in your communication, you want to understand yourself so you can also tell your spouse how you want communication to be, how you want to communicate it to. So like she's smiling.
Because you're about to go to the next one, so go ahead.
Oh, this next one?
Yeah, essentially. Go ahead.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. So I didn't even think about that. But yeah, we're just understanding each other. So you have to understand yourself so that then you can understand each other. Because you can't be clear if you're still scatterbrained. And it's okay to be scatterbrained sometimes. It's okay to be like, I'm trying to figure it out, because I'm a think talker. I try to talk it out. And And that's another thing, you have to understand who you are. And then so you can then communicate to your wife, say, hey, or communicate to your spouse, say, hey, like, this is who I am. So give me the space to talk it out. And she's not a think talker. So she likes to kind of step back. So I have to not try to push my thought process and my process of getting it out. Like, and that's the one thing we messed up at the beginning on the clarity thing. Like, I try to push my way on her, and she went, why don't you just understand? And I'm like, why don't you just understand? And we have to realize we don't understand because we're not the same. And that's okay. And that is okay.
And so he led to the next one is not clarity, alignment. Alignment is the next one, and what he put is becoming one. Is how it was his words and how he did it. And to become one, the best example for those people, I know it's not everyone, but if you get it, you get it. When you look at romance novels, the romance books I've been reading have been on science fiction. It's been werewolves mostly. And werewolves, when they get a certain age in the books that I've been reading, they get their wolf, and their wolf is a part of them, right? And so
I don't know what you're talking about. Someone's listening.
Their wolf is a part of them. But they have to learn their wolf because their wolf has their own personality. But then they still have their personality. And so the wolf understands themselves. The person understands them. But they have to work together and be in alignment when they make their decisions and when they're weaving through life. So when we get into marriage, in the biblical sense, right, the two become one. And so that's becoming one, as Justin said, in my head. That's how I'm understanding it. But also it helps you be in alignment so you can walk together. Because it's going to be really difficult, and it has been difficult for us in the past, for us to say we're on the same page and Justin is going we're going in the same direction, but we're not truly aligned, so we're going like this. And so we're kind of fighting each other. And so when I move this way, I'm pushing Justin off his course. When he moves this way, he's pushing me off my course. But we're going this, and it's not efficient in getting where we're trying to go. And I say that to say, going back to the understanding piece and how I want to tie that together is you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And if you don't truly sit with yourself and figure out yourself, you will not be able to communicate that to your spouse to give them clarity on what you're trying to do. Don't get me wrong, there will be times where you just do it because you do it, or it makes you feel some way because it makes you feel some way. But the more clarity you can give, the better off you will be, especially because Justin may accept way more than me, but I am a logic person. If you can't explain it, then I'm like, why are we doing it? Even though I speak off of feelings too. But you will more than likely get that from me. So just understanding that helps you get in alignment so y'all can reach your goals more efficiently and build those systems more effectively.
Yes. And some quick practical tools to help understand yourself. Personality test to give you a capture of where you're at. Enneagram, DISC assessment, things of that. Just get a capture of where you're at. It's not who you are holistically, but you just gotta give you a current state. And so we'll dive into that deeper into it and how to assess yourself in another video. But that's just a starting point, just a little nugget, still a starting point for you. But yeah, that's all I'm throwing in there.
Okay. Did you want to add anything? Because I talked a lot.
You did perfect. That was perfect.
He said I did perfect, and it's going on camera. Okay. All right. So the next subject is I'll let you kick it.
Oh, to let you wrapping it up with trust. That's our thing. Trust,
which is very fundamental to any relationship, and it's very big on communication. But I will let you talk about trust.
So trust. So not just trusting your spouse, because like and there's levels to the trust, right? Because you know the fundamental trust, the initial trust is like, I trust you not to cheat. I trust you to take care of me. I trust you to protect me. I trust you to protect my feelings. But then you start getting into the deeper trust of like, I trust you to see all of me. I trust you to hear me. I trust that when I speak, you're not going to judge. Yeah, I know what's that little TikTok thing going on? Something listen, not judge right now. And that's
yeah, I know you're talking about. Oh, the one I've seen is the two people in the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the girl.
So not just saying just crazy stuff like the people be saying, but seriously, like, I trust you with my emotions, because we heard, was it Jason Wilson said. I always say Jason Williams. That's NBA. Jason Wilson said, like, he told B. Simone, that's a great interview. Check that out. That we're speaking to the child inside of you, and like, we're trusting you with the most fun, like the most like basic level feelings, the fears, the insecurities, all that doubt. So that's the trust we're talking about. Once you get past the first several check marks, that trust that you can see all of me. And that's the heart of like full communication, I feel. Like, that is when we fully communicate everything. And that's the becoming one. That's the clarity that's bringing it all together, is that trust, that deep level of trust. And you get there through being clear, working on alignment, and being consistent on the things we're saying, like communicating, giving examples, telling them what you feel, how you feel, not trying to hurt them, but trying to make sure you're trying to see each other, understand when you hurt is not intentional. I'm trying to teach, I'm trying to show, I'm trying to love, and it's messy. So like, that's what I see the trust. I know, once again, we come from different perspectives, so we're gonna see it. You're gonna hear it from two different sides. But I love this right here, because you see like, she has a beautiful brain. You know, I think I have a beautiful brain, and it's coming, and we bring it all together. But that's where I say, when I see trust, that's what we're talking about with the communication, like being able to be vulnerable enough to release the information out to your spouse.
And so with that trust, because you can talk for hours about trust, as you learn about it, as you look at what the Bible says submit, but that has been a lot of conversations between Justin and I on what does submission look like, because I think in every marriage submission looks different, and also trusting that he has mine, because he's supposed to love me as Christ loved the church, and the Christ gave up his life for the church, right? So then he ultimately has my best interest at heart. But remembering that and trusting that that is always the case. And I will say, for me at least, I may not always have had that viewpoint, and I have been very much, listen, we got, in this society, it's very much women are out there, we want equal, we're doing everything equal, like we're out there making the money, right? And one of my mindsets was, I don't need a man to do this, right? But in doing so, bringing that into the marriage, how do you build trust with that type of foundation, especially between us two? So we've had a lot of conversations over the years and more recently about what does our marriage even look like, so that we can have that trust, so he can be vulnerable with me, because men surprisingly have feelings. Who would have thought that?
A lot of us, like this, yeah, buddy.
And they have been taught to subdue their feelings, they have learned to suppress their feelings.
Right. Trained, taught, all that. Like men, yeah.
And so they suppress them, and it can cause issues in their marriage, and cause issues in the way they raise their kids. And then being able to talk about them, especially to their spouse, is very, very super important. But how does he feel comfortable being vulnerable with me, trust me enough with his feelings, so that we can get to how we are going to build our future together? And that goes back to communication. That goes back to what systems we're going to put in place to make sure that we can get to where we're trying to go. And by him trusting me with that, or me trusting him with how I feel, we're able to get to that end goal. And it also allows us to adjust our systems when things are not working. And communication is super important with that. And that when he's talking to me, going to church in the morning when we're already late, it's important for me to get to church on time. And it's not his intent for us to be late. However, I'm like, Justin, we about to be 10 minutes late for church. They sing for 15 to 20, but still, I like to be there for that. So, trusting him in those moments when I get upset, or him trusting me that I'm just not going to bite at him or do whatever else. And we can talk about the system and not the person. So how do we ensure that we get out in the morning versus, Justin, you're always making this late. Like, I don't want to attack Justin. I want to talk about the system. So that trust will help with that we're not attacking the person when we're having our conversations about our systems.
Well put.
I try. You did a pretty good job too.
But yeah, so those are three. I'm just thinking about it. Like, just those three things. They kind of, if you notice, they seamlessly all merge together to build upon each other. You know, you're clarifying, you're being clear and concise. You work. When you be clear and concise, you can work on getting in alignment, and alignment builds the ultimate trust. So the trust already comes, but you're working on building that trust. So that's, to me, this is the foundational piece that you that you need to build all the systems for building a business, for investing, with your spouse, like investing, building a business, raising kids. Because think about this: if you're not all in alignment, all that stuff, you throw kids in it, you throw a stressful job, you throw a business, like, it will tax a marriage, and you need systems to make sure it doesn't tax it. And you need a system, you need a foundation, and you need a framework, so that you making sure that you're not overworking yourself, overextending yourself, and also you're not focusing on one thing at a time, only one thing, because you don't want to build riches and then don't have a family come back to you. You don't want to just focus on family and then have just don't have any foundational investments and stuff.
A way to support them.
Okay, thank you. And so that's what we're doing. So communication is the foundation piece for all of that, to build a system so that you can have a complete life between you and your spouse.
Yeah, so just going to challenge everyone, whoever's watching, going to challenge you to say, what part of communication might you need to work on, and how are you going to accomplish it? Do you need to be more clear with your spouse? Is that something that needs to be worked on? Or not even your spouse, anybody, your friend. It doesn't matter. Because these things that we talk about, if you're building a business, you can still apply those things. You got to communicate. Y'all still have a goal. There's going to be hard times that y'all have to get through. So talking about that with one another, do you need to be more clear? Do y'all struggle with alignment? Do you struggle with trust? Again, those help with building those systems, and it's going to help you reach your goals ultimately. So just drop it in the chat. Just say, not the chat, in the comments, what you're having to work on, or what you're looking to work on to improve upon, to get those systems better with whoever you're working with.
Yeah, our goal is to continue on building our community, continue on growing, and like not just here for like entertainment, not just here to just kind of like, yeah, we joke around, we play around with all that stuff, but we want you to really like be better. And like we're not here for like notoriety and all that stuff. Like we want you we just want you to be better. We want to reach and help people get better, and we want to help people be the best version of themselves in the marriage, because it's just too, like, with everything going on out here in the world with politics and all that stuff, and like the more things economically, now is the time that we got to dig in and really focus on building that family core and create systems in place so you have margin to protect your family for the upcoming any upcoming swings, because we don't know what's coming. So
you never know what's coming.
Yeah, you never know what's coming. And so we want to make sure we build the systems down so you can have the margins to be prepared for what's coming, and be prepared for multiple different avenues of what's coming your way. So please, like my wife said in the not chat.
Oh, so I am your wife.
like you said, just
like my girl
put
said.
Put in the comments what's your communication. What was the question? Sorry, make sure I don't want to say it wrong.
It's what happens when you try to not stay in your lane.
You're right. You're right.
Just drop in your comments what you need to work on and how you're going to work on it when it comes to the clarity, the alignment, and the trust.
Yes. So, we're all, like I said, we're me exponentially. We're all about the system. So, I like to say, I'm gonna read this thing. I'm just read it. I like this. All right. Because at the end of the day, it's not about just doing more. It's about building systems that to live a seamless life. Like, that's what we're about. Like, we don't want to just do more and have a bunch of actions. We want to live a seamless life and hit our goals by implementing systems.
What is it? You don't die to your goals, you fail your systems?
People don't rise to their goals. They fall to their systems.
Yeah, so that's why we're talking about systems. Because they do play such an important part. I mean, you think about the routines with our kids, they live on routines. So the systems in place to just make it some I'm not going to say someone can step in, but because I'm going to be honest, there are things that I don't want to take over from Justin. But if I had to, he has a system that I could probably do. I won't do it as well, but I could probably put it off 20%.
So, hope it's helpful. Go build your systems and make your life legendary.
And if you like what you heard, like and subscribe. Thank you. Thanks, y'all, for joining. See you on the next one. Bye.